Hi, my name's Dom. Today I want to do a review of Infinite by Eminem. This was Eminem's debut album. It came out in 1996. You'd probably be surprised to hear that most Eminem fans have probably not heard of a lot of these songs. This was before he got discovered by Dr. Dre and went to Interscope. It was before he joined Aftermath. It was before he created Shady Records. It was before My Name Is, which was the big hit that made him famous. And you definitely can tell this is not his style, that he was coming into his own. Many people have said that he was probably copying off the styles of AZ and Nas, two great rappers who were around during the 1990s, and Eminem took a lot of influence from them and structured his verses, his rapping, and his hooks from their music. However, I'd be lying if I said that this album has a lot of great songs on it. Although it doesn't have the shock value of Eminem's later releases, it has a lot of the skill that you could see was more foreshadowing of what was to come, the greatness that would be his lyrical ability. This album is full of metaphors, similes, play on words like homophones. It has great storytelling on it as well. It has, especially on the title track, some of the lyrics are it gets you into it. He has some great flow on this album. If there's anything I can say about this album, it has great flow. My thesis will smash the stereo to pieces. My acapella releases classic masterpieces through telekinesis and eases you mentally, gently, sentimentally, instrumentally, with entity dementally meant to be infinite. That's some great flow. Now, there are some faults on this album, definitely. The production is very bad. It doesn't sound good at all. It sounds like it was made in someone's basement, which it probably was. He didn't really have a record deal, or at least one not from a very popular record.
Kinesis that eases you mentally, gently, sentimentally, instrumentally, with entity, dementally, meant to be infinite.
It sounds very much like a mixtape instead of an actual album, and some of the guest appearances are mostly by Eminem's friends at the time. However, if you like that old school sort of bad production like I do sometimes, like for example on Ready to Die by the Notorious B.I.G., that it really works for it well, and I can see it working for some people on this album too. Sometimes if I'm on the right mood, this complements it very well. Some great tracks on this album are probably the title track, 313, that has some great plays on words and jokes. Eminem's verses on 313 are very funny.
And never try to be what you're not, cause you can be quick, jump the candlestick, burn your back, and fuck Jill on a hill, but you still ain't Jack, so
Backstabber is a good one. That's another storyteller, but it also has some really great flow to it.
There's a joker on the loose from the psychiatric ward. His face is up on a bulletin board with a reward. He'll stab you with the sword, don't be
Open Mic possesses some of Eminem's best lyrics as well as too. Now, a bad song on this album would probably Maxine. That is not a very good song, and I think it's probably Eminem's worst song. I can't really think of one off the top of my head that's worse than that one, but Eminem has one verse in it that's okay. He cuts a couple of jokes in there, but then there's he lets it off to a couple of his friends. Mr. Porter, who would later go into D12 as con artist, and someone named 3. I'm not sure who that is, but Mr. Porter's verse is okay, and 3's verse, I wouldn't say it's very good.
Even tends to be, you say you want to be with me, but how can you say that when you got niggas hiding in your closet? I refrain from.
There are a couple other okay songs. There's some really good songs on this album. Overall, I would say that this is a pretty decent effort. It's definitely not as good as Eminem would later become, but it's a good first try, I guess I could say. Eminem even would go and this obviously did not sell very well. It sort of sounds like a cheap mixtape. He would sell it off the streets, and it sold so poorly that he actually almost committed suicide because he thought his career was over. And then Dr. Dre heard his mixtape later on, Slim Shady EP, and he would realize what a great artist he is, a great rapper at that time, and then found his voice. Dr. Dre discovered him, he came to Interscope, he released the Slim Shady LP, and the rest is history. But to start out, this album, definitely not the Eminem you're used to or anyone's used to. However, if you're an Eminem fanatic or just a hip-hop fan who's curious, I don't think you would regret listening to this. There are a couple songs that are probably pretty bad, but overall you wouldn't regret listening to this. Thanks. If you like this, please subscribe, like, or comment. Have a good day.